Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. Vader Games TV. Another episode of 115. One question, 15 minutes. Listen, first things first. My people come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. We're back with another one. My heart rate's calm. My heart rate is calm. I've had a chance to kind of think more about yesterday's game, and obviously we're back. We're back. And what I do every show's on point. I got to show love to the person that took time to show love by a comment, by a like, being a part of the show. And on today's show, the very first person in the building is my guy Sam, Vader the Terminator. Listen, I'm gonna be making some moves. I'm gonna be making some moves, featured on a few shows, right? This was before the performance that we just saw versus Fulham, but you know what? We had to address a few things that happened in the Leeds game. Hey, drama as always, but Sam, good looking out, clutch in the building. You know what it is, Dre P. Well, Vader, they can't say City are boring. No, they cannot, and if they do, it's an agenda. Fans need to be glad. A big win at a tough ground, no question. Fulham only gave up 3 goals all season long at home. 3 goals all season long at home. Week 13, they only gave up 3 goals at home. And then you look at what City did. They put 5 on them. I'm happy. Yeah, big win. Big win. That's the most important thing. I agree. Goals are coming from all over again. Now just need control. And when we talk about control, I think we're talking about the midfield. You're absolutely right. Good looking out. Trevor in the building. Listen, big up Vader one time. We're doing it. We're doing it. And I have to say this. I'm so appreciative before even going live. For those of you that do have the notification button, that did hit notify me for when we're live, and you guys, some of you, many of you being in the chat already before we are popping it, listen, it's good. Now, if I got to remind some people, and I see more people in the chat, love to each and every one of you, good looking out. This is what I got to point out. If you're coming to this channel and it's new to you, right, understand that for simplicity, you can pretty much tell by the thumbnail what's going to happen, right? If you see the sky blue, if you see the Manchester City blue, we're going to be doing 115. We're going to have a conversation. 1 question, 50 minutes. I'm going to start the clock pretty soon. Just doing a little bit of intro, some housekeeping. If you see the orange borders, the orange branding, Why Always Me is going to be going off. And I think that's going to be the show tomorrow. I think that's going to be the show tomorrow to deal with all of the other things that are on my mind, on my chest, and for me to have the conversation with you guys. And again, CIA, Intelligent Agendas is going to be happening this Sunday. You don't want to miss out. Big games are happening, an important weekend. But listen, all of you in the mix, let me address a few things, because this is why I had to have this show. I hope we can have the conversation, all of us together, with regards to this, because I get the emotion after a game. I do a match reaction. You understand that I'm trying to just give you how I feel in the moment, but also try to give you some football takes on things. Now that you have a couple hours, several hours to then digest, reflect on it, and then also in the moment, and again, I don't hold anyone against what they say, just reactionary wise, right? We deal with things post-match differently. We're all in different places. Now it's the next day. Now it's let me listen. Let me listen really closely to what's being said. Let me hear what people are saying after the fact, right? Let me start the clock. Let me get this going right. And I'm going to let me save this for after the show, because I do want to ask a question for anyone that's maybe going to be a regular on here to even kind of keep track. You know what? Stop that. I'm going to do that. I should be doing that myself. But let me start the clock. Vader Games. All right. Listen. Listen. 1 question, 50 minutes. The clock has started. You see by the thumbnail, you see the title. I gotta discuss this. Why subs off? Why? You know what? Actually, my editor. What is going on here? Why? Apologies here. There shouldn't be an S in this. Look at that typo. Look. Why sub off your only DM at 64 minutes? This is something that I was hearing, and I'm hearing still right now. I'm hearing I'm seeing the exchange with some of the conversations and some of the chats. I'm hearing what's happening with regards to some of the voice notes that are going down. Let me vent for a little bit, please. Let me vent. Please disguise your movement. Please disguise your mission to discredit and get this manager out of here. Disguise it better. You're forcing it now. You're not picking the right moments to kind of have these conversations, or you're not taking the time to really think, what does this manager, what does the club have at its disposal, right? And I'm going to take a second. I'm not going to put this on screen, but I am going to speak to it. It is so forced right now with regards to what's happening with regards to Pep and the questioning of his decisions. Now, let me vent for a second, guys. Let me vent, okay? We know it's not just been this past transfer window where we didn't do what's necessary to be a complete team, to be completely on point, to be like the teams of the past. We can all hold our hands up and say. But I was hearing, and I'm still hearing, Manchester City fans ask this question. Why did Pep sub off Nico Gonzalez? Why did Pep sub off Nico Gonzalez? Pep, let me pull up my phone here. So there's this app called the Score app. I don't know if it's North American. I know it's Canadian, but I don't know how accessible it is. Some are geo-fenced and stuff like that. But let me pull up the app. Let me go back to the Fulham City game. Let me see the timeline. Let me look at this real quick. As I scroll and I look, I'm looking at substitutions. Minute 64, Stones was subbed on for Nico Gonzalez. Okay. At that point in the game, we were leading 5-2, like the title says. And Pep decides to take off Nico Gonzalez for John Stones. Now, let me pull up the roster. Let me actually have a conversation with some intelligence here. Let me pull up the roster. On the pitch, obviously we had Nico playing the 6, right? On the bench, our options, obviously Pep chose to bring on John Stones, but on the bench he had Stones, Ake, Shirky, Savinho, Trafford, who's a keeper, Omar Marmoush, who's a center forward. He had Ait Nori, who's a left back, Kosanov, who's a center back, puts in a shift at right back, and Rico Lewis. Why do I have City fans asking or wondering why Pep chose John Stones as that option? What would you do? What would you do? Oh, you'd keep playing Nico Gonzalez when we're up 5-2 in the 64th minute? You'd keep on Nico G when we got a game to play on Saturday? When we don't have any backup 6? We looked like we were in a position to just see out the game. For the manager to say, you know what, I want to rest as much as I can. Let me have my player play just about an hour because I have no other 6. I see what my system looks like without a proper 6 or a player that can actually put in a proper role. Let me try to save his legs as much as I can because I know I got to tax him again next game. Fans, what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? To not understand why he would have thought to take off Nico G and to put on John Stones, who, based off of who we saw on that bench, probably made the most sense. What? Why? Why that question? Let me go to the comments, try to calm down a little bit and see how y'all feel about it. See what you guys think. But I thought it was what are we forcing here? I know you want Pep out. I get it. I know you keep wanting to crashing it on the board. We didn't buy enough. We didn't get the right players. We haven't shown to have the same cutthroat ambition the way we did back in the day. We got to hear it again. But what would you expect him to do in that game at that point in time? Let me try to catch up. Let me try to keep up with the comments. And I know I fell back a little bit, but I got Wesley in the building. He goes big up, big up. You know what it is. Big up everybody in the chat. I see you, Clutch. Trevor in the comments going through. Let me try to catch up here. Donna in the building. Oh God, why? The minute you started the vent, I felt the gaslighting radar in my brain. What are you doing? I'm not gassing. I needed to vent though because I'm hearing too much of over criticism with regards to a decision made when we're 5-2 up, taking off our only 6 who's going to have to get leaned on often. What? Seriously, what are we doing? Now, if you want to question other decisions, if you want to say, maybe don't take off Doku for Savinho, okay, I'll hear it. Take off Doku but put on Marmoush, I'll hear it. Maybe take off Haaland and put on Marmoush, I'll hear it. But you look at the options when he's trying to see out a game, when he's obviously trying to be defensive and not create too many goal-scoring opportunities. What are we doing? Let me try to catch up here. Sam, 100%. You are perfect answer. It is heavily forced right now. Heavily forced. This is not the right game. And I get there's momentum because of how we looked versus Leeds. And again, there was questioning of Pep and his management in the Leeds game. Obviously, there was questioning of Pep and the 10 changes he made in Champions League. But it is so forced. This is not the game for it. But this is also a game where we look at, okay, what did we do well? What did we not do well? What did we get wrong? What do we need to fix? That's a big part of what I describe in my match reactions. I want to see what did we like, what did we not like, what needs to improve, and what is it that we don't want to see ever again, right? It's moments like that that you want to look and reflect, but the forcing and some of the player criticism was way over the top. Clutch. Craven Gonzalez, he has played most of the games recently, even the Leverkusen game. He looked tired. He did. He looked gassed in that game as well. And he also looked tired in the Leeds game when, you know what, we had to fight to get that late phone winner. You know what I mean? We had to fight to get that late phone winner. So it's one of those where maybe the manager is saying, based off the players that I have now, because Rodri isn't quite ready to come back. Kova, we know, isn't available. Let me rest Nico Gonzalez. Let me rest him because he is so important. And no one else can do what he does. There's no let me put a player in to put in a shift. Pep gets criticized. Here we go. Pep got criticized for trying to play Reinders into the 6 early in the season. Oh, why did Pep do that? Oh, we got Nico Gonzalez. Why didn't? Well, maybe Pep did that because he's trying to see how can I manage this season if I'm going to have to swap in and out Nico Gonzalez because they are not robots. He's not going to be playing every game. It's not going to be a point where we can play these games 3-0 up at halftime and then we're cruising because we see how teams are still going to be persistent and fight till the very end. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What a freaking game. And I'm going to go back to some of the goals we saw. Kurt in the building. You know what it is. Big up, everybody. Thank you so very much. If you're doing the damn thing, I don't even got the live streaming YouTube studio up. But if you happen to be in the building, please hit that, hit the like button. What am I doing? Why am I in here? This is so, what's going on with this thing? Let me say later. All right, I'm going to close this. But listen, if you happen to be new to the channel, you got to subscribe. If you want to be a part of the show, hit me up in the comments. I'm going to do my best to kind of keep track. This is a blessing as well. This is a blessing where I'm trying to keep up with what you guys are saying, and sometimes I can't bring everyone to the screen. But I appreciate how you guys are going back and forth as well. Clutch. Rico Lewis ain't doing it. No, we're not bringing on Rico Lewis for that role as well. Reiners ain't doing it, especially after Reiner starting. I'm not going to trust him to have that endurance, have that willingness to run and track. When you're tired, you make mistakes. When you're tired, you don't move as quickly. When you're tired, you have that little bit of lag. Wouldn't want Reiners to do it. I get John Stones. He's done it before. Fresh, defensive-minded kind of first, and you trust him maybe to make good decisions on the ball. I get it. I get it. Maybe he thought of the physicality as well. You're absolutely right. Nico needed rest. If you're going to take any time within a game, 5-2 up, I think that's when I'm going to do it. And it wasn't until almost nearly 10 minutes later before we conceded the third goal. So it wasn't like he made the change and instantly they scored again. I mean, we were under pressure after he made the change because I think they need to find their spacing. But you understand why he took him off. You watch Manchester City 6-5 Sunderland on if it is that type of drama, man, this is why we love the game though, because we guess, we assume, we'll speculate, but we don't know what happened. We don't know how players are going to react. We don't know what the opposing manager is going to do and the players. We don't know. We don't know what kind of silly non-calls referees are going to make, right? They wanted Trafford on DM. Yeah. Listen, the manager's decision at 5-2 to make a sub and take off Nico Gonzalez, who's a player that we are highly dependent on, and we are, from a position standpoint, it's very risky. We're very risky in that position. Right? We talk about how, we can't afford certain players to go, can't afford Fulham to be available, can't afford Haaland to be available. Oh, truly, we can't afford Nico Gonzalez, can't afford that. And as odd as it may seem, as odd as this may seem, we can't afford not to have Diaz or Gavardio. If we lose both of them, we're in trouble. If we lose one of them for a long period of time, we're in trouble. Because I think defensive is where we have the most issues. So Donnarumma, Diaz, or Gavardio, one of the two, when we think about our defensive spine, Nico Gonzalez, that's where I have my most nervousness about. In attack, I think we'll figure it out. We know Pep's that guy. Pep's that guy. Kurt goes, Stones should have never come on last night to play in the CDM role. So are you saying we should have kept Nico G on? Who are you suggesting to play to cover in that 6? I'm curious. So Kurt goes, if Nico G stays on, Fulham most likely don't score the 3rd or 4th, so that's an L for Pep. But we have a next game to play. Kurt, we got to play a next game, right? We got to play Sunderland next. So the manager, again, risk and reward. The manager said at 5-2, let me take a player off so maybe I can save his legs because I'm going to need him again, right? So you're saying he shouldn't have taken him off. He plays the entire game. Now what do we think in the next game up? That's my question to you. Sam goes, Vader, did you notice no rival stream talked about City positives? No, and I like it that way, Sam. I like it that way. Everyone only said defense stinks, yet it was the midfield that made the mistakes for goals conceded. Yeah, that's true. Oversimplified, talked about the defense, but maybe when they say defense, they mean City's defense, maybe not defenders. But yeah, I like it that way, Sam. I like it that way. Everything is City aren't that good. City, and again, we don't look good. So it's not an exaggeration. It's not trying to play the underdogs or anything like that. All rivals, actually, not even just the rivals. Even with regards to City supporters, City fan channels, they were saying how poor it was, and I agree. But let the rivals speak on it. Right now, we're second. We're second in the standings And we look this bad. It is a wild one. Let me try to catch up here. LFC in the building. You know what it is. Big up, Vader. Hope all is well. All's good. Appreciate you being in the channel on this show in particular. It is one of those where, as a City fan, I'm sitting back, relaxed today. I'm gonna watch and see how you guys play. You know what it is. Some disagreements in the chat with Kurt. I'm seeing, and I posed a question. Kurt goes, Fulham don't score the third and fourth goals if Nico G stays on. So take the L, Pep. So shocking. I understand if he weren't to change anything, that doesn't happen. But take a second and think of why he may have made that decision and what it may or how it would in fact affect things moving forward, right? The butterfly effect, right? There's going to be ripples to him keeping Rico G to play longer and still need him for the next game. That's what we're saying here, right? Sam, I disagree. If City lose that last night, Pep. If he lost it, okay. If he lost, wrong decision, right? We're going to go based off results. If he lost, wrong decision. The thinking in the moment, Kurt, was, I've got this game at 5-2. When is that not comfortable, or the way we looked, when was that not going to be an okay decision to do? Now, I know last season we crumbled. We gave up 3 goals or 2 goals at the 75th minute, right? In Champions League, we've shown that we've given up late goals. The vulnerability is there, but also the vulnerability is there if we don't have a proper 6 to play in that position. A player that's been nurtured, a player that Pep has been taking post games, giving additional instructions like, hey, Nico, I like how you are positioning here. Just support the guys here. Try to read this attacking thread here. Open up your body here so you can receive the pass and we can be on the offensive, or you can shield off attacks. This player's been groomed to be able to do that. We don't have anyone else. Kurt, we don't have anyone else. I get it. If it had been the mistake, I get it, but he made the sub in order to also protect the player that we're going to need, because like you said, if he doesn't take off Nico G, we don't surrender those goals. If we don't have Nico G to put in a shift for Sunderland, long day. The subs from Pep against Leeds and Fulham was poor. I got to disagree. The rationale, the thinking in the Leeds game, I would say you look at the timeline, do those subs sooner, right? I think he made the subs late. In the Fulham game, I think his subs were spot on, with the exception of, and some wondering, why is Savinho still getting time when you have Marmoush to be able to come on? Why are you taking off Doku? But again, I think it's because, and hear me, I could be completely wrong on this one, I think Pep knows his trusted 11, 12, 13 players. I think he knows who they are, and I think he's going to be leaning on them heavily as we go into the stretch. We play Sunderland, and then after Sunderland we play Real, right? I think this is the management, this the players, the kilometers on these players' legs. I think this is what he was trying to manage. LFC goes, Vader, people not realize that City are winning the game without Rodri. He is City's main. Yeah, listen. Rodri is the main guy to making this work. And I want to say this. Imagine Rodri and Nico G to see out some games. Like, imagine that for a second. When we're talking about, how defensively leaky we are, how we're giving up goals and we're giving up opportunities to teams. Imagine we're looking to see out a game and we have the option of also having Nico G and Rodri on that pitch. Oh, we can lock some things up. We can make life so difficult. You ain't getting a sniff. This is the thing, and I think the Pep's doing his best to try to manage it. I see the conversations going back and forth with Kurt in the building as well. Blue, I see you. Bring Reese back. Hey, he's having a great run. Reese is having a great run. I like how he took on the loan option. Being sent on loan is not a bad thing. In this day and age of football, it's not a bad thing. Look at what had to be decided on in terms of the squad. Now we realize, hey, we can't rely on Nathan Ake. We've seen this spell. Maybe Savino's not going to be able to do what's required of him. Who knows what's going to happen with John Stones, even though he was leaned on with regards to playing the six in this game. But Reese coming back, I'm in agreement. I think he's going to be a great young talent for us to continue on. Let me see what else is happening out here. Pep, the GOAT. What some of our fan base say, so the subs should be better from Pep against Leeds and Fulham. No, yeah, he's the GOAT. Some of the subs should have been better. I think time, you can question time, you can question personnel. This game, to keep it back on the Fulham game, I think it's only the questioning of Savino. Why is Savino the first option versus Marmouche if you're bringing in a player to play on that left-hand side? I think that's what we're looking at. Let me see what's happening here. What did Clutch? Kurt, what would you have done? Okay, Sam. Kurt saying spam Nico G until he gets it. No, he's not saying that, but he's questioning it. He's questioning it. Sam, Pep can't do. Listen, if Pep, and this is how Kurt's asking the questions, like the what ifs. What if Pep kept Nico G on 5-2 in the 64th minute and Nico gets hurt? Right? Like when we want to, because again, those that are quick to want to get this guy out, those that are quick to be like, Pep, you've been here long enough. I want something new. Your consistency, I want something new. If Nico G had gotten hurt in that game, you know they would have been going wild after Pep, right? I can already hear it. I can already hear the talks. I can already hear the talks. Dre P in the building. Well said, Vader. Stones was his only option. When I look at the roster and when I look at the time of the game, when I look at how he may have been thinking to kind of see the game out, that's where I'm at. Don't know what's going on in the world of City fans. I might have to have a. Let me think of how I want to brand it. I might have to have like a word association, Manchester City fans anonymous meeting. You know what I mean? Where you kind of see classic like TV shows or movies where we're kind of sitting in a circle and we're just saying, "Hi, I'm Vader Games. This is my first time here. I'm having issues with the Manchester City fan base, and here's what I think we need to kind of maybe have that type of event. I think we need to kind of get some things off our chest because the fan base seems stressed, and the fan base seems so stressed, and they appoint what's not going well, everything that's not going well with him, and I get it. Things are going great. He gets the credit. Things are going bad. He's going to get the discredit. So I think we might have to have a venting session if I'm going to be real with you. Rodri being wrapped in cotton wool, he's not coming back anytime soon. They're being very unsure. They're being very iffy with when he might be coming back. So is he back before the winter break? I don't know. And with the winter break, do we go into the market? I think we're going to have to. City not winning the league playing like that. 100%. No one's winning the league playing like this. But City being in so close proximity of the title playing like this, let's fix up. Let's fix up, and then who knows, right? Conceding 2 goals against Leeds and 4 against Fulham, unacceptable. 100% in agreement. We need to fix up. City fans should support Pep. Hey, there's a difference between a fan and a supporter. Dre P, there's a difference between a fan and a supporter. Klopp and he was half. Klopp was half the manager. Yeah, I mean he won 1 title, 1 Champions League. They even created fairy tales, so Klopp was better than. Yeah, listen, this is one thing. Well, this is one thing that I do give credit to the media darlings, is their media presence, their forced narratives, next level. Next level. And we're seeing something very exceptional in terms of already labeled, already branded, already credited as being great in Arsenal, and they haven't done anything yet. So the the PR machines have always been greater against Manchester City, 100%. Trevor, if we won 5-1 and people would complain why Pep kept Nico G on for the full 90, that silence is deafening. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And they're recognizing that. Dre P goes, yeah, agreeing with that. Not risking injury, not risking putting on extra kilometers when not necessary. I get the thinking. Had we had a loss, it's a problem. Herbal in the building. You know what it is. Big up the chat. Hit the like. Be in here. If you're new, subscribe. You know what it is. I'm going to be as consistent as I can. This is 115, one question, 15 minutes. You know I love to talk and interact with you guys. The 50 minutes flew by. Now I'm interacting with you guys in the chat. Good looking out. I do agree. Now, next game, Sunderland at home, Real Madrid, and Crystal Palace away. Monsters and Kurt monsters, and you know the guy that Pep subbed off at the 64th minute. We're gonna need him for every three, all three of those games. We're gonna need him. I don't even know if he's gonna get a chance to be subbed off. I don't know. This is it. This is it. The more I think about who we have available, and if Rodri isn't gonna be available, we have to go into the market. We have to go into the market. It's going to be a madness these next 3 games. Sunderland, Real Madrid, Crystal Palace. All must wins as of now, because we're going to be assuming Arsenal win their remaining games, right? I mean, we should be doing that. We got to assume Arsenal are winning their remaining games, so we got to be able to keep pace. Spartacus in the building. He goes, evening, lads. You know what it is, Spartacus. Good looking out. Thanks for being a part of the show. I had to address this. I don't know. I'm sure you know. You heard this last night. Fans, rivals being like, why sub off? Why sub off your only DM? Why sub off Nico G at the 64th minute leading 5-2? Because we have no other DM? Because we're going to need him? Thank goodness we won that game. Let me tell you, thank goodness we won that game. I could not imagine the fights, the battles we would be in right now. Oh, you know how I'd be fighting left and right. I'd be fighting everybody. If we had lost that game, they'd be going after him. They'd be saying our players are trash. We're 2 points off top. Bob, I see you in the building. No, that's Dub. B-Dub, I see you in the building. Kurt, he goes, Haaland, Foden, Nico O'Reilly, Donnarumma, all been our best players this season. I have to agree with you. B-Dubs in the building. Anderson, 120 in Jan. I hate 100 mil plus. I hate 100 mil plus. It's too much pressure. I don't want that on our players. I don't want it. I saw what happened to Grealish. And speaking of Grealish, we could have used him last night. Hey, let's remember, Jack is on loan at Everton. He's on loan. Now, I have to admit, I haven't watched many games. I'll do a transfer market check. I'll see where the majority of his playing has been. Has it been on the left? I don't think he's been the isolated left wing like he used to be for us. But we could have used Jack. Jack, I think, can play central. Needs to be on point. He doesn't lose possession like that. He has an eye for Haaland as well. We could have used him. But we have to go to the market. Spending 120 on Anderson. I don't like that added pressure on that player, but we do need a player of that profile. Absolutely. We got to give congrats to Haaland. 100 goals 100 goals in only 111 games. Mad. We're witnessing. The fact that we're witnessing greatness is amazing too. It's amazing. We can't take that for granted. Always surprised to see new feats being done, especially because we've seen greats before, right? We've seen what was a madness goals per minute for Aguero, right? He was crazy in terms of amount of minutes played and how often he scores. And now we're seeing Haaland taking it to the next level. Who would have ever thought that we would have gone from, having goal scorers like Feed the Goat to now even having goal scorers to Aguero, and it's supposed to be a fall off. You're not supposed to go from a great to a great. We went from Aguero to also Haaland, like incredible. Let me see what's happening over here. Wait, why are we mentioning Saka in here? Why are we mentioning Saka? That's not necessary. It's not necessary. Dre P goes, Pep allows City to pass on players that are too expensive. Yes, that is true. Don't fall for the lazy media narratives. Okay. City doesn't overspend anymore. That is very true. Everybody in the chat, that is very true. Grealish was a release clause, and he was the only signing that window. I'd say that all the time. They try to make it seem like we spent $100 million in a transfer window when we got racks of players. Well, we spent $100 million on a transfer, on a release clause, to get Jack, and Jack was the only signing after winning the Prem, right? So it was one of those. So I'd rather not put such a high price tag on a player. We've seen how that's affected the players over at Liverpool, right? Both of those players had very good seasons the year prior. Yeah. One came from a different league. The other one's been in the league, and he's struggling. The price tag weighs on you. That added pressure is heavy. Kurt addressing Sam with an earlier comment. But Arsenal are top of the league and the UCL table. Why people don't call it out? No, hey, there's acknowledgement for Arsenal are very good. Kurt, Arsenal are very good. They're playing at a very high level. They've been very consistent. The matter is, does the consistency continue? It's game week 14. Pep said it. A lot of football's left. We know this. A lot of football's left. We've got December that can be tricky for clubs. We've got post-winter break that can be tricky for clubs. And then you got to deal with the important games for the FA Cup. You got important games of the UCL. You got important conflicted, jammed in games, all jammed in with the Prem. It's going to be one of those. See who manages that the best. Now, I think we can't go over the top and be crazy critical of subbing off Nico Gonzalez at the 64th minute. I think we can be critical to look how we surrendered those goals. And this is to bring it back 180, 360. We have to look at how we surrendered the 3 goals. The 3 goals were very similar. Ball spilling at the top of the 18-yard box, and us being a half step slow, not recognizing the threat or the opportunity to get to the ball with a clearance or a block shot, putting our bodies in front, right? Understanding where a shooter is most likely going to put a shot, and they were rewarded for it. Fulham were rewarded with 3 shots taken, bouncing just at the 18, threw it into a very crowded area, and were rewarded. We got to fix that. We got to change that, right? Whether it's recognizing the threat, recognizing the danger, being quick to be in certain spaces, understand your depth, right? Being close to the 6-yard box, that's too deep, especially if you're part of the midfield. Defenders make sense, but there needs to be the defenders, and then there needs to be the midfielders. That space is where we need to fix up and get better on. And I'll hold my hands. We as a club need to be better at that, right? Bernardo Silva, Foden. If you're gonna have Reinders on there, you're gonna have John Stones, you're gonna have Nico G. When it comes down to like how we close things out, even with regards to our wing play, understand that spacing, right? And when we recognize that, we're better. Also, I have to say this as well. I would like us to see more of our players have their heads on a swivel to not have players free. It seemed like there was too much of, oh, he'll cover that. Too much of the passing it on to other players covering things. I think we fix up. I think we're going to be better defensively. That's something, obviously, as Kurt was talking about, no one really wants to talk about. But defensively, that is what they do as a team, right? Arsenal, as a team standpoint, they defend. They defend. All of them defend. Almost like, Saka and Martinelli or Trossard, they're almost like wingbacks the way they make sure they come back and defend, right? So I think we need to dial in and be better defensively in the situation, in the right situation. But I'm a take this decision all day for what Pep did. I want to see us improve and not give up 4 goals. If anybody wants to talk about this is City, this is how they defend, this is an outlier, right? And when you want to do your stats and you want to geek out and nerd out and look at the stats and the trackings, and then you want to look at goal scores and things of that nature, well, this one, it's like a blip. This one, it's pretty steady, and then you go, what? This is one of those, because defensively we've been kind of here, and then we got this 4 goals given up away. It's an outlier, but let's make sure we fix up and not see this again when we play Sunderland on the weekend. On the weekend, let me see how you guys are saying. Arsenal hate pressure. We're gonna have to put it on them for sure. We're gonna have to put that pressure on. Absolutely. Let me see what y'all are saying. Spartacus in the building. If we keep playing like this, we will concede 43 goals this season, 1 less than last season. Yeah, I think if we keep playing like this, and when you say like this, like how we're tracking for the season, I think we're gonna be okay, because we are outscoring. Do we need to have more clean sheets or anything like that? Not necessarily. I just want us. I kind of want us to not know how we're going to get scored against. Like, I don't want there to be like, oh, we gave up a classic counter attack over the top or one of those. I don't want that to be like our default teams can get us. If it's like, oh, a variety, player mistake, or it happens to be a set piece, like things like that, it's kind of calm. I just don't want there to be a set routine on how to beat City. Where am I at? JP goes, I think Kosanov could be the key. He's a no-nonsense, pacey, physical player. I think when on form, on form, I'm with you. he's locked down. He's locked down video. Yeah, I think we can lean on him right now when he only has to worry about one side of the pitch. As a right back, I'm a lot more comfortable right now. I want to see him mature a little more, understand placement, and maybe instructions on what he would be getting from a Diaz or a Gavardio most likely. And I think he could be a good tandem at center back. The pace centrally would be really great as well. But yeah, we'll have to work on that. Spartacus is on point here. Talking about the math. The math is 16 goals conceded so far. I get what you're saying. You guys are on point. Nah, I love this. Sam goes, I think our game management was lacking. Leaders on pitch need to step up. So when I see leadership in 2 points, Sam, because when I see how we continued fighting and fending off what Fulham were trying to do, there's leadership in that. There's the no give up. There's like fight till the very end. And then there's also the leadership in terms of things aren't going our way. We're not going to hang our heads down. And then there's also the leadership in, let's not have first the third goal. Okay, we gave up the second goal like that. Not acceptable. The third, let's see leadership where we don't see this again, where we do fix up. I think we have the players to do it. They need to learn it. Let me say, each and every one of you for being in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope all of you have hit that like button. You've been in the mix. You're showing that consistency with regards to, you know what, I'm watching right now. What Vader happens to say, I agree with that. Hit the like button. What Vader has to say, not too sure, but I like what he's got going on. Hit that like button. All of you have been absolutely amazing. This is 115. This is one question, 15 minutes. As you can see, I've been I taught 50 minutes straight, getting what I had to off my chest, and obviously interacting with you guys. I had to double that time because I enjoy how we interact. Each and every one of you, please catch me on the very next show. The very next show which is gonna be Why Always Me. I'm gonna have a series of topics to discuss. I'm gonna make sure that I devote 5 minutes per topic, keep it flowing, and we're gonna get into that and CIA on Sunday. So blessed to each and every one of you guys. Hopefully you enjoy this content and this show in particular. I'm Vader Games TV 115. We are out of here. Large up, bless up. Catch you on the next one.